we always talk about going to those health screenings, right? But what if skipping them, like, consistently isn't just, a personal choice?
Right.
What if it's a sign of a much bigger health risk? That's what we're diving into today.
Yeah.
New research about prostate cancer screening.
It is fascinating. This is really substantial research, too. A 20-year study.
Wow.
The big one, the European Randomized Study of Screening for Prostate Cancer.
Okay.
The ERSPC. It's like the Mount Everest of prostate cancer screening studies.
Okay.
7 countries.
Wow. So big.
Huge.
Huge study.
And some recent presentations at the European Association of Urology Congress in Madrid.
Okay.
They highlighted some key takeaways I think are really important, for everyone to understand about this disease.
Yeah, let's break down exactly what this study found and what it might mean for, men and the people in their lives.
Okay.
That's our mission today. All right. One of the big things that really jumped out at me was that men who consistently avoided prostate cancer screening over this 2-decade period, 20 years,
Right.
had a 45% higher chance of dying from the disease.
It's a big number.
Compared to the men who attended their screenings.
Yeah.
So, that's a powerful amount of evidence.
It is.
20 years, 7 countries, all pointing in one direction.
Yeah, and what I think is so interesting about this is, it really identifies a specific group at higher risk.
Right.
So we often think about, age or family history.
Right.
But this study is saying, look, if you repeatedly don't show up for screening, that's an indicator
Oh, interesting.
of increased mortality.
Okay.
That's a key piece of this puzzle.
And when you consider how common, how globally common prostate cancer is, this is even more important, right?
Right.
It's the most common cancer among men in 112 countries.
It's a lot of countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're predicting that it'll double by the year 2040.
Wow.
So that really underscores how important these early detection programs are.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, national programs, using this blood test, the PSA test,
The PSA, right.
prostate-specific antigen, can play a vital role in catching the disease early.
Catching it early, right, exactly.
When it's more treatable.
Right.
So screening can be beneficial on this large scale.
Yeah.
But what about for the individual, for the men who actually attend these screenings? What does this data tell us?
That's a great question. The ERSPC data shows something really encouraging.
Okay.
For those who choose to get screened, they have a 20% lower risk of dying from prostate cancer over those 2 decades.
Over the 20 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a real benefit. Now, we've got the benefit to attending.
Right.
But then there's this other side of the coin, the cost of avoidance.
Yes, the cost of avoidance.
45% higher mortality rate for those who skipped screening.
Yeah.
So that's alarming.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
Yeah.
But, we've been comparing them to the people who attended.
Right.
What about compared to the ones who weren't offered screening?
Right. The control group.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So even compared to them, the non-attenders still had a 39% increase in risk of death from prostate cancer.
Wow. Okay.
And the numbers here are kind of striking, too. Out of the 72,460 men who were invited to be in the study, more than 12,400.
Wow.
That's about 1 in 6.
Yeah.
Consistently missed every single screening appointment.
So that's a big chunk of people.
Yeah.
Potentially putting themselves at risk.
Yeah.
So this makes you wonder, why are they avoiding it?
Right.
The lead author, Dr. Renee Lien, talks about care avoiders.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So this is what I think is so interesting about this. It might not just be about the screening.
Okay.
It might be about a general approach to health.
Okay.
So people who are repeatedly avoiding this screening, she suggests, might also be less likely to engage in other forms of preventative care.
Right.
Or maybe less inclined towards, healthy lifestyle choices.
Okay. So it's like a mindset thing.
It could be a mindset, yeah.
More than just, I don't want to go to this one specific screening.
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. So what's the takeaway?
The study says we really need to understand this group.
Okay.
The non-attending men.
Right.
Who are they? What are their reasons? How can we encourage them to participate?
Right.
The goal here is to design these national screening programs that are really effective.
Right.
And they can't be effective if a lot of people aren't participating.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it sounds like some things are already starting to happen. I mean, you mentioned this EA-led Praise You project in Europe. They're trying to create a more personalized approach to screening.
It's a really important initiative.
Okay.
So the Praise You project, several countries in the EU are working together to develop more personalized strategies for prostate cancer screening.
Okay.
So it's not just, one size fits all.
Right.
They're taking into account individual risk factors and things like that.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. It's interesting, Dr. Tobias Nordstrom from the Karolinska Institute suggests that this new analysis actually points to a larger benefit of screening than we thought before.
It does, yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's significant.
Okay.
Because, he's saying if we specifically look at the men who do attend screening, the benefit is bigger than we previously thought.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And, that could really change how we talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
How we communicate the value of it.
Right, to the public.
Yeah.
Now, there are still some big questions.
Oh, yeah.
We don't fully understand why some men actively choose not to participate.
Right.
And then how that leads to worse outcomes later.
Right, exactly. Why are they avoiding it?
Yeah.
And when they do get diagnosed, are they presenting with more advanced disease?
Right, right.
That needs more investigation.
Yeah, for sure. Now, just to give us a sense of the scope of this research, can you recap some of the details?
Yeah. This sub-analysis looked at 20 years of data from 161,000 men.
Wow.
Between the ages of 55 and 69.
Okay.
At the start of the study, these men were from 7 countries: Finland, the Netherlands, Italy, Sweden, Switzerland, Belgium, and Spain.
Wow. Okay. Big study.
Huge study.
Okay.
And the ERSPC itself started in 1990.
Okay. So this is a long view.
Really long view.
Okay.
And full findings are expected to be published later this year.
Okay, great.
And the presentation was at the European Association of Urology Congress, EAU 25, on Saturday, March 22nd, 2025.
Okay.
The title: Prostate Cancer Mortality in Men Not Attending a Population-Based Screening Program. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly after 20-year follow-up in the European Randomized Study of Screening for Prostate Cancer.
So big title.
Yeah.
To sum it all up, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
This big 20-year study shows us there's a significant risk associated with consistently avoiding prostate cancer screening.
Okay.
Men who repeatedly don't attend screening, they're much more likely to die from prostate cancer.
Yeah.
It's not just about if screening works, it's about participating.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And so it sounds like the next step, the big challenge, is to figure out why some men are avoiding it.
Absolutely. Why are they avoiding it?
Yeah.
So we can develop better programs.
Right, right. Encourage people to participate.
Yeah. Get those participation rates up.
Yeah. It makes me think about, preventative healthcare as a whole.
Right.
Like how do we encourage people to participate in all sorts of health screenings? What are we doing wrong?
Right.
What are we missing? So something to think about for yourself, and maybe talk to the people in your life about it.
Absolutely.
So